Hi, I'm Kim, the community lead at Voiceflow, and over the past few months, our community has grown to house over 700 AI agencies. We've seen questions around pricing, landing your first client, all the way to tips to success. So we thought, what better way than to host a panel with our community's top agency founders who've been there and done that. In case you missed it, here are the 9 top takeaways from our panelists on how to start and scale an AI agency.
Each industry, each type of clients has a different way of interacting with customers. So what I did, and it worked really well, was to actually go through all the niches that I thought were interesting, all the industries, and reach out to these business owners and pitch a project for them. Mostly, I reached out to bigger companies or companies that I would love to have in my portfolio and offer that, hey, let's build a solution for you. Let's show you how well this works. And we get the advantage of just flexing that we worked with you and basically learning along the way.
This is all about building value. This is all about exceeding expectations. If we know generally what it's going to take to build this thing, then we'll just stop on a price, which is $3,500 for the baseline for a chatbot. If it's something that we've already packaged, we've done before, then we can probably go down to $2,500.
So we scheduled a meeting. We went to the nearest Starbucks. We set the laptop on our lap and we showed him the AI chatbot that was already tailored towards his website because we scraped it the night before, actually. It was around midnight, I think, because he messaged us at 10 p.m. and the next day it was already the meeting. So we prepared this whole chatbot for him and he was very pleased with it. And at that moment, it was an instant click because he could see for himself what the real benefit actually was from Voiceflow and this AI chat solution.
Once you find your client, I think everybody needs to look at who their client actually is. What niche do they actually want to service? It's not a good practice to say, I just service everybody. Voiceflow works for almost every niche online. But think about who you're actually trying to go after. Connect with that person, figure out what their pain points are, figure out what their actual issues are on a day-to-day basis, and then make some cool shit for them.
I like to do value-based pricing, right? If I'm bringing you an additional $50,000 a month in revenue, then I'll take 10% or something like that. Just a number off the top of the head, but that's generally how I do it. But I also like to give them sort of 3 tiers. I don't just say, here's the price. I'll say, this is a service offering. This is a second one. This is a third. Here are prices for all of them. And then that way they can pick what fits their budget.
Once we got better in our services and in our solutions, we were able to productize and also standardize the whole process for them. So they know, or we know exactly, even if it's a different niche, a different industry, the steps that we're going through with every client is going to be the same. And once we optimize and streamline this process, you can see that communication is really key, especially in the beginning. If you don't have the ability to overperform on the quality of your product just because you don't have experience yet, overperform on the service that you're offering them, overperform on how you're communicating, keeping them in touch, keeping them updated with every single thing. And the communication is also aligned. You know that their expectations are exactly matched with what you're working on. I think the last thing that you want to do is build something that in your mind is perfect, but then at the other side, they thought that, okay, this is definitely not what I was paying for.
What we had in the beginning was the thought of, if we share too much, are people just going to do it themselves and not become clients? And I would say just share everything. We're just going to give all the value because people are going to see it and they're either too busy or they want the expert to do it, or for whatever reason, they're still going to buy it from you. And it just shows that you're competent. If you do YouTube, which I personally would recommend, then just blow out the value for free. However, when it comes to steady growth, YouTube is random. So you never know when a lead is going to come or when a client is going to come. So it's not predictable. So what we focused on recently is we need a predictable flow of clients, which is when building outreach systems where if we do X amount of this, we're going to get X amount of leads and X amount of calls and X amount of closes.
Some people, they don't go in with a scope of work, right? And a scope of work is profound because that scope of work sets the expectations of the deliverable being given to the client as well as your involvement. I've seen lots, and I mean lots, of agencies set themselves up to start servicing one client. And because that's their first client, they grip onto it with both hands and they want to over-deliver and over-deliver and over-deliver. Give that 2 months and you just became a very, very decent but glorified freelancer working for an external company. Like Emil said earlier, doing it for free is amazing. That is an amazing way to get in there and start working with people. But I've seen people go in for free and then end up doing the freelancer thing. And it's like, no. You need to set that clear expectation first. I'm going to put this in. It's going to have this qualitative return, i.e. percentages of ROI, etc. And then my job's done. Anything beyond that is scope creep, and we'll renegotiate a deal from there and there on out. And then you can look at charging that paid client for an extended service deliverable.
Another mistake I think people make is the procrastination thing at the beginning, like wanting the perfect website and the perfect PDF pitch deck. What I would say is build out a prototype for whatever niche you want to go into. Don't really even need a website necessarily. Figure out stuff as you go. Don't get caught up on preparing everything for 3 months. And then after 3 months, you haven't talked to anyone yet. You still have no clue what people even want. I just say take action and start talking to people. That's really the main thing. You're not going to figure it out by sitting in your room all day.
Thanks for watching. We'd love to know what questions you have around starting your AI agency. Comment them down below, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss our next event.